Okay, time to do a car build. Okay, let's take a little walk around it. As you can see, no front bumper. It's actually inside the vehicle. Obviously the wrong wheels for the car. These are Series 1 wheels. We've got some big plans for this car. One of the plans are to put a big body kit on it. We're going to go Group C body. I have ordered the kit and that should be here soon. So what I want to do is strip the car down before it gets here so we can repaint everything, redo any rust. Of course, you can see the door needs needs a lot of work. It is all surface rust. I'm probably going to have to, as you can see, it's very, very rough. I'll probably replace the doors. And the main reason for replacing the door, not because of the rust, we can probably fix that. But if you look in here, which is down inside the window channel, there's normally meant to be a piece of metal right the way along, which is rusted out, which is the window seals. So because we can't do it, look at it, all rusted here. Yeah, car's going to need a lot of work. Around the back, no rear bumper, no lights. The lights are over here, along with spare, rotary parts, of course. These wheels I can't use. I bought these wheels again when I bought the car. I went out and bought a set of wheels. It was on eBay. These were 15-inch wheels. They were on a Series 2. They're a great looking wheel. I don't know what they're called. Performance 15x7. They're like a hot wire, I guess. And it has some Yoki Advan tyres on it. Nice and sticky. So here we are on the passenger side of the car. So I've got all the rear glass. I'm going to take these out. Again, we're going to take it all off, take everything off the vehicle. This door's in a lot better condition than on the other side. However, it still has, so you can see here, this is what I was talking about before. See how it's all rusting? So I suppose I could re-weld one of these in, but it may not be worth it. It may just be better to get new doors. Then I don't have to worry about any other issues, from rust, what's hiding under here. Again, we're going to strip the paint. Loads of parts in the vehicle. There's the roof lining. This is one of the bumpers. I can't remember if that's the front or the rear. I think that's the rear bumper. Front bumper's down the bottom here. Seats, really, really bad condition. They'll need to be changed. Now look at all that. I don't know what that is. I don't know if, can you see that? How can I make that brighter? So we've got some kind of animal living in the car. So if you look on the back seat, can we see it? There's a lot of what looks like poop from a big animal down there. Now there could be snakes, there are all sorts in here. Definitely spiders are going to be on here. I know there were some redbacks on there. Well, let's make this a little bit lighter. I'll show you that when I can get in there properly, but we're going to have to put gloves on because this car, where it was stored, was on a farm. So because it was stored on a farm in like an old shed or an old garage, there could be anything in there. I've only had it here for about a week. It could be a snake. There's definitely spiders on there, I know, but anything could come out of it while I'm playing with the car. So last thing I need is that. The window, I put this window in, it was a brand new car. When I got the car, basically there was an engine block in here that had been started, but nothing else had been done to it. There was no radiator, there was no plumbing, there was no wiring. I rewired everything. Okay, so we've got these rollers here, which we'll put the car onto, so I can move it around nice and easy. Has the flip up lights, they're there. I do have the headlight covers, they're in the car, but they weren't, here they are. They really are not in good condition, as you can tell. Let's have a look. Yeah, not in good condition. This one's probably the better one. The other one was all rusted. Not rusted, the other one was all bent out of shape. Dashboard, of course, like every other dashboard you'll see on a Mazda RX-7, all cracks in there. We'll have to fix that up. For the car, we're actually going to make like a Group C race car. But it's going to be a street vehicle. We're going to make it for the road. We're not going to make it just a track car, but I do want to put a roll cage in there. I want to strip out the whole interior. I want I don't want carpet in there, so we're going to pull the carpets out. We'll probably do that today, throw them in the bin. But basically today, what I want to do is get everything out of the vehicle, get the vehicle on these rollers, maybe pump the tyre up just for the sake of pumping it up. Again, look, who knows what's in here. The whole car, one of the things is car, let me show you this. Where's the, probably should put some gloves on. Alright, so there's your brown interior. These door cards, they're going to go. We're going to get rid of the door cards, we're going to get rid of the carpet. So seats, they're probably going to go, carpet's going to go. I'm going to keep the rear seat because they'll have raised seats in the front, but in the back, because I've got 2 kids, I still want to be able to take them out for a nice Sunday cruise. We're going to have a roll cage, but we're going to keep the rear seat so people can sit in the back. Obviously in Australia these cars came out with a rear seat. I believe in America they never got the rear seats in the car. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is get everything out of the car. I'm going to put some gloves on for this. Okay. Get you closer. Alright, battery. That's for the battery to sit on under the bonnet. Center console. Oh no, this side, yeah, this side of one center console, and the other side, and nice and broken. We'll have to fix that one. And that's for the tail light. It's a bracket for the tail light to fit into. All right, here we have the cluster and the seat. 284,000 kilometers on this one. I'm not sure if it's an original one from out the car, but we'll use this, we'll put it back in. Door seals. This is off, we just took off the window. So if you look, some of the aluminium, well, I'm not sure if they're aluminium, but some of the parts here. Okay. Alright, what's in here? Another rear tail light bracket. You've got the rubbers for the back of the tail light, seat belts in there, plastic parts. There you go, that goes around, that's for around the key barrel for the steering column. So we've got a lot of parts in here. More plastic interior parts. The trim goes along the bottom of the door. You go, front window trim. I don't know, where's that from? Oh yeah, the top of the window, up here. Side of the windscreen at the front. There you go, wipers. Alright, top of the dashboard as well here. Here we go, this is what I was talking about before. This is one of the flip-up headlight covers. A lot of bog. For something so small, it's out of shape. And there's a lot of bog under here, so we're going to get new ones of these. No point fixing it, not worth it. I'll be able to find some more off eBay. The seat's just sitting here right now. We do need to get the seat out, but before we do it, just want to make sure there's nothing hiding in it. So you can see we've had critters in here. So if you can have a look, a little bit of fluff down the bottom here. That's caused by animals getting up inside the seats and eating as much as they can to make a nest. Got the wing mirrors there too. Let's get the seat out. Or, before I get the seat out, maybe vacuum it up just a little bit. Quite scary. Oh my god, you should see the amount of mouse poo in the bottom here. Let's have a look at this. Have a look at this. It's disgusting. Look at that. Look at it all. This is all mouse droppings. We're definitely not going to use the carpet. Can you hear that? Okay, there we have it. One side pretty much not clean, but the seat's out at least. We've got to get the bumpers out of here. Wait till I'll show you in the back seat. It's horrible. And what's this rear bumper? A manual. Any other headlights cover? And roof lining, let's get that out of here. We may not put the roof lining back in. Okay, disgusting under here too. Get this seat out. It stinks really bad. Okay, we'll keep that. Really good. Rubbish. Okay, let me show you what is on the other side of the car, which is on the back seat. Something, and I'm pretty sure it's a possum, has been using it as a toilet. It smells really bad, but here, get ready for this. Look at that. Something has used it as a toilet. I don't know how long for, but obviously something was living in here. Alright, now we need to get rid of that. It's gross. I'm going to be sick. Alright, that's most of it out of there. I feel like I'm going to be sick right now. Here comes the front bumper. Ah, what was that? There's a moth in there. Okay, front bumper. Now this goes under the front. We're not going to reuse this, I don't think. I might sell it because these are pretty hard to come by in good condition. This one's actually really good. Look at it. It's almost never been used. And it goes under the front bumper if you're going to keep the factory front. But because we're going to Group C body kit, the whole front is going to be replaced. And we're probably not going to use this because you won't see it. So it might be up for grabs. Now, that Mazda RX-7 Series 1, I got that made by Fun Plates back when I had my first car. My first car was a green Mazda RX-7, and I reckon that would be, well, what am I now? I'm 41. That's probably, I was 18 at the time. So 22 years ago, give or take, 22, 23 years ago. And I'll keep that. That'll be good for the build. So as you can see, we're pretty much done with emptying most of the things out of here. Still got some poop down here. Yeah, so we're going to pull the dashboard out. It's just sitting on there, so we'll pull all of that out. The carpets can come out then, and the underlay, we'll throw it all in the bin Over the back there, the rear seats have got to come out. Okay, so we've got our wing mirrors and we've got our fuel lid. Okay, it smells really bad in here. We're going to try and take out the rear seat. Oh, there we go. That was easy. It was easy on one end. Why can't that come out? Oh. This one's stuck. I knew this would come in handy. Go. Smells really bad. Well, this has got to come out now. I'm out of breath. So there we have it. It's a very empty, okay. So there we have it. We've got a very empty RX-7 shell on the inside. Let's have a look. Let's take you through. We've still got some cleaning up to do in here. Carpets are coming out, so they've got to go in a bin anyway. It really stinks in here from all the critters that have been in here. Down the back, there's nothing in there. The wiring, we'll take all the wiring out. That's the original colour of the car. Obviously the car at the moment is grey. I don't know what colour we're going to paint it, but we're going to worry about that later. The original colour is like a bronze or a brown, which you can see on the back of all the metal sprayed on the inside. So the idea is that I'm going to clean all of this interior out. We're going to wash it down. We're going to remove all the sound deadening. So we're going to put dry ice in here to get all the sound deadening out of here. We need to keep any bolts we find. Put them in a tub. Okay, now we're going to take out the dashboard. I'm pretty sure it's just sitting on top. Oh, yes, nice and easy. There we go, that was easier than I thought it was going to be. It's going to be a lot of work. It's going to be a lot of work. And all the sound deadening too, which looks like it's still been glued in. Yeah. Well, there you go, that wasn't too bad. Inside is empty. The dashboard today, I want to take out the heater core. The steering wheel needs to be fixed up, like it's all wobbly. Look at it. So I don't know what's wrong with it, whether it's just absolutely ruined or if it's something I can fix. Nice and easy, but we're going to just disassemble it so we can get in there and paint everything. So I'll probably pull it all out anyway, steering column, because again the car will be sitting on dollies, which will jack it up today. Try and get all of this out as well, the window wipers. And if we have time, we might make a start on removing the back windows, because they'll be easy, they'll just be bolted from underneath. But before we do any of that, I need to clear out all of this rubbish, all the poop that was left over. There's a lot of it in here, so I need to really vacuum all of that up. It's not too healthy to be in here at the moment because I'm breathing in all of this crap. So we need to clean it up first with a vacuum, and then we'll get into removing the dash and the heater core. We have what looks to be two 12mm nuts, so we've got to remove those to remove the rear window. In fact, they're not 12mm. Yeah, 13mm. So the nuts have been removed from the hinges. We've now got to remove the strut, or take off the struts off both sides, and then we can take the glass out. I didn't think this through properly, did I? Okay, looks to be loose. Wasn't smart at all. Okay, better. I wasn't thinking that they're loaded. Okay. Now that's all removed, I'll put you up here so you can watch me do the dashboard. Okay, we're connected on the wiring loom on the other side. Oh, there we go. Are we done? No, we're still connected. So. Aha! We're done. So now I can remove some of the wiring. I don't want to unclip it. I can unclip it, but I don't want to. I want to keep it all together in one piece. Okay, so to get to remove all of these, which are for the heater. So when you adjust your heater, the fan speed, and how much heat you want in the car, these cables will go and clip back into the heater core. And I need to get to them, so I need to remove all of the vents. Keep them all in one piece. Here's one. Here's the other side. Now I can get in behind here and remove all of the clips that are left. No, not that way. I'll still do it. Okay. Now the other side. There we go, heater core is removed. Just one more cable, or one more wire. There we go, all done. Now we can get into removing the heater and all of this as well. It's all part of the heater, but we've got to get it out. Might start on this end and remove it back to the center. It's probably going to be the easiest way. There we go, so that seems to be the fan. You can see in there the motor which spins, blows all the hot air or cold air. That's the aircon core, so the two pipes were already removed. And the wiring loom on top has to come out as well. There you go, so one side's removed. There'll be one on this side which I can't see. Let's have a look. Yep, there it is. Something else to hold on to it further back here. There's more hoses that go through to the firewall, so before I start pulling on all of that without knowing what it is, let's have a look under the bonnet and see if it's actually removed from the other side. As I mentioned before, normally the bonnet will lift up towards the camera. The hinges are not connected. Let's lift it up. Whoa. Under the bonnet, more mouse poop up down here. So when I got the car, the radiator was not installed, so I've got to empty all the water out of here because I did fill it up so I could start the vehicle. The motor itself is a 12A. From the shape of the extractors down here, because it had a square in there, I believe that's a 12A 6-port from like an early Cosmo. So I'm probably going to either rebuild that to a 12A Bridgeport if I can, or I've got a 13B motor over there. They've got to both be removed before I can take out the rest of that core. I know there's water in here. I don't know how high the level is. It's been in there for about 10 years, so it definitely needs to come out. But I've got no way of doing that today. I've got no bucket to fill up. Let's have a look. Okay, so it's pretty dry. I'm pretty safe to remove those hoses. Okay, so we need a flat blade to remove the hose clamp. I'll just loosen them off. Okay, there, good enough. Let's remove the other one. And fingers crossed when I remove it, there's no water in the pipe. Okay, that's good. No water leaked out of it, we'll just keep it over here, out of the way. Now for the other one. Okay. Now we've removed the two hoses. I should be able to pull that heater core out. So there's the rest of the heater removed. That's the last bit. Now that's all of the heater core. The last bit came out of the center here. There was one more bolt I had to remove. I've never removed steering column before. Steering wheel obviously was loose. I didn't realise there was no nuts on it. And I don't know if I need to remove it from here or from the other end. Okay, so we've got 4 bolts out of the way. Okay, need to keep that. Seems to be all coming out. And I'd say that's how we do it. The last thing we're going to do is remove the wiper mechanism. So we've got the motor here and the wiper blades. So we've got a number 10 bolt. There's two number 10s. We'll take them out from here as well. I've got a bolt missing. There we have it. So we're starting to collect a lot of parts now. Back window, all the interior parts. We need to tidy it up. We've got a heater core that we took out, so all of the heater and the aircon we pulled out. The dashboard we pulled out as well. There's a dashboard on top there. We're going to start on this side, working our way back through the engine bay over to where the wiring comes in through the firewall over here, so we can actually remove it from the car. As well as that, I'm probably going to start taking, everything off the engine. I need to get the radiator out because we want this engine bay completely empty. Okay, let's get to it. Might be easier to pull out the radiator before I try and feed the wires back through. In the meantime, I'll take off the top hose and also the heater hose. Doesn't look the best in here. Quite a bit of corrosion. I might even cut the hose because the hose is gripped on to the pipe really hard. I'll replace it later on, but I'll just cut the hose, I think. That worked. Coming out a bit quicker now. Sweet. There you go, completely cut it in half. Yeah, look at that. And replace it later. That'll be fine. There you go. Yeah, look at that. Completely corroded onto it. Time to remove the radiator. There we go. One headlight removed. We're starting to look very empty now. If you have a look, all the headlights have been removed, the mechanism for the headlight, the wiring loom on this side, the radiators removed, the oil cooler. I'll drop the oil from the motor so I can take all of that out as well. This side's all empty. All the wiring looms out except for the ones that go down to the starter down the bottom here. All I have to do now is remove the wiring loom. Either I bring it, what way do I have to bring it? I probably have to take it through the firewall that way. I mean, I can give it a go now. What do you think? Probably the last thing to do. All right, let's give it a go. See if I can get it through. Now, before I go any further, I'm going to remove the tags. I'm going to put them away somewhere nice and safe. At the moment, I've got the oil draining out of the motor, So when I pull the motor or the oil cooler, no oils will go all over the floor. So I'll leave that till tomorrow to drain. So just going to drill up the pop rivets. Not like that. That's probably all I'm going to do at the moment. It's quite hot in there. It's a hot day. It's 35 degrees today. Wow, that was rusted on. Let's keep all this together. So the moment I pulled off the carby and the intake, all the water came out again because there's a lot of water left inside, and all of this corrosion or all this rubbish inside the water, which can't be good for the motor, came out of it. If you look inside the intake, you can see they're all blocked. It does break down, but I don't know how good that'll be if you were trying to run your motor at the same time. Now they look pretty stock. Different day, it's Saturday afternoon, it's pouring with rain. You can probably hear it now on the roof. It went from 35 degrees yesterday to, I know, it's probably 20 degrees today. It's warmer in the factory than it is outside. And what I want to do is, because I have to remove the brake booster, be able to paint the engine bay properly and remove all the brake lines, I need to drain the fluid or the brake fluid out. So I think, I've never had to do it before, I think I'm going to have to do it under here. I think I'm going to have to do it from one of the brake calipers. So we're going to jack the car up, pull the wheel off and see if we can bleed the brake fluid. No spiders in under there. Oops. So we're starting to drip from the valve. Now what I'll do is I'll undo the reservoir from the top and see if it comes out quicker. And it does, but just a little bit. Now, do I have to put my foot on the brake? And see, tell me if this comes out quicker. Okay, so if I pump the brake, is it going to come out quicker? It does, I can hear it. How far as I come down? I don't want to be getting that all over the floor. I am. I'm getting it all over, which is what I didn't want to have to do. Okay, so I've got to pump the brake obviously to get rid of all the fluid. Okay, sounds like we've got rid of most of it. So I'll tighten up the valve. There we go. I'd say we're going to have a bit more brake fluid in this one. Yeah, not too bad. What I'm doing, I'm removing the brake lines back to here. I'll replace them with brand new ones later on because they're all rusted and I don't like the look of it. So it'd be good to tidy it up properly. So front brake lines are out. Two number 10 bolts to take out the accelerator pedal. So there's two wires down here. It looks to be, well it is. Okay, there's a black and there's a yellow wire that go under the car. I'm not going to get under the car today, so I'm just going to cut them. I can replace those wires later on. I honestly don't know where to go to, so I'm not worried about that right now. But for the sake of pulling everything out, the wiring loop, we'll just cut them. There we have it. The entire wiring loom out of the car. We're nearly done. Everything is out from inside, no pedal box. I've only got to take the padding off actually. Nearly forgot. So the padding, all the wiring loom is out of the back. It's completely empty on wiring loom. Okay, we're getting there. The only thing I've got left to do now is remove the hood hinges. So then what we're going to do is remove the sound deadening from in here. I want all that removed because we're going to paint inside the car the same colour as outside, get rid of any rust. The whole car is pretty much torn down. I've only got to remove the motor, which I'll do once I get an engine hoist. I don't have one at the moment, so I'll either have to beg somebody for one. I could buy one, but I don't want to spend $250. This is the part we want to keep. We want to take off the skin for the front bumper. We don't need it because we're replacing it with a fiberglass front spoiler. We do need the metal support Rio, so we'll get this, take off the skin, and we'll connect it in here somehow. Still got to work out how to do it, but for the time being we need to go and undo all of these clips that are holding the skin to the Rio. Alright, there are the ones from the top. Now I've only got a few at the bottom left to remove. Okay, so what I'm doing to mount the Rio to the front bumper is I'm putting 2 bolts through the front of the Rio. I'm going to put some bulb with fiberglass in it underneath here to set the bolts into it. Then what I'll do is I'll undo the bolts, I'll take it off, and that's my position for mounting the front bumper. So at the moment, all I've done is I've bolted it in, I've set it where I want it, and I've marked top and bottom roughly where the fiberglass is going to go. I'll go mix it up now and let's see if I can get it right. Okay, so firstly what I want to do, this is where I want to put the fiberglass resin. So the resin, when I pour it, it doesn't spread out. I'm going to use some old clay bar and I'm going to make a dam. So I'm going to split it into 4. There we go, 1, 2. So I know it's going to go here. Glass fibre filler, got a hardener, got a mixer, and let's give it a go. Not sure what quantities I need, but of course, first thing I do is make a mess. It's really strong. That should be enough to set it, and then after, I'll come back in and I'll put more. But I just need enough to hold the bolts where they need to be. Now I used to do this years ago, I used to love doing it. I'm going to have to work quickly, because I'm not sure. Okay, we'll try that amount, that's probably too much. And it might get hard real quick, but we'll give it a go. So you're going to mix it in really well. I think I put way too much hardener in here. So it's going to get really hot. And it's going to dry up real quick, which is good. I do want it to dry quick. Okay. Let's move it aside. Mixed up enough. Okay, can you see it? Yep, perfect. Okay, before it goes off and goes hard, let's put it in here. Okay, plenty of fiberglass. Put it on both sides. Probably made a bit too much, but that's okay. I've made a little bit of a mess, but this will work. Okay, now I'll put this over the top and get it in place. Hopefully, when it dries, those bolts will be stuck in the fiberglass. So we're going to leave it to dry. So hopefully what we'll do at the end is I'll undo these bolts. Okay, so you can see here what I've done is I've undone the nuts, I've taken off the Rio, and you can see where the Rio is sitting. This is nice and hot. It's actually really soft at the moment. I just wanted to take it off and see how well it worked, and it actually worked really well. So very, very hot at the moment. It's still got to set. Once it sets a bit better, I'll pull the clay out of here, and I'll add more fiberglass to the whole area to make it a lot stronger. So that's just 2 mounting points that I want. I want to be able to take the spoiler on and off whenever I need to. And I want adjustability, so when I'm putting the spoiler on, if it's sitting at the wrong angle, I want to be able to change the angle, and I want it to sit correctly. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts all in there, and I'm now going to go and fit it on the car and see what the first fitment is like, but it's all connected. I'm really happy at the moment with the fitment. It does have to come back, and I know that's in the brackets. I'm going to have to modify the brackets a bit more to push it back. This will go on a lot tighter, so that's a bit better there. I might have to do a bit of trimming down here, just so it's not so squashed and it's not bending or flexing, but I'll probably do a bit of trimming down here to get it to fit better. You can see it needs to tilt a little bit, but we can sort that out. I'm happy with that. So once we've got the front spoiler fitted properly, where it sits on the body nice, I can then get the flares sorted out and then get onto the back end. Okay, so we're getting through the fitment. We've done one side. It's only temporarily fitted at the moment, so the front spoiler's all fitted up. I might do a little bit more adjusting to get it across to the other side, probably 0.5 centimetre. Now the front flares are all bolted in. I say bolted in, temporarily screwed in. Using self-tappers at the moment. We'll eventually put some well nuts in there. Now into the back. Okay, this one's also self-tapped in at the back, but the only thing we've got to do is down the back here, I'm going to have to put a bit of pressure to get it to tuck under nicely. So if you have a look, if I put a self-tapper in there, it's just going to strip itself in the fiberglass. So I'm gonna have to twist it and use a bit of force to bolt that one in. But that'll go in nicely once we've got the correct well nuts or the correct holes in there for nuts to go through. Might use a nut cert in there instead of a well nut. Well nut might not be strong enough to hold it. You look how wide it's going to be. That's only one side. So if you wait till you get the other side fitted, it'll be a wide car. To fit the rear spoiler, there's probably a million ways of doing this. What I've done is I've marked where there's a couple of rev nuts in the underside of the spoiler. And what I've done is I've marked here where it is underneath. Now I know on this side it's 4 centimeters, I've marked it. The other side is 3 centimeters. So I know between this point here and this point here, in a dead straight line, right in the middle is 4 centimeters. So if I just quickly line this up to be where I want it, make sure the other side's lined up, it needs to sit naturally. Slight angle, and these both 14. Okay, perfect. So, I know, if you come in close and have a look, see here, I know between this mark here and this mark on the other side, right, I know that's 4 centimeters. So if I mark right there, on the body of the car, 4 centimeters. Come around here. Now I know, come all the way around please. I also know on this side, between this mark here and this mark here, I've marked it underneath, it's 3 centimeters. See here, 3 centimeters? So I know that I've got to drill a hole 3 centimeters right in the middle. So let's see how it goes. Okay, so we drill there, and 3 was right in the middle. So if I drill a hole right there, let's see how we go. To mount the rear spoiler, I need to get to the other side and put a bolt in from underneath. However, I can't get to it from the other side without putting my hand up right through the guard. There's another layer of metal underneath here. I need to drill a pilot hole through it so that I can then use a hole saw and make a window so I can do the nut up. So if you look at this, see here, it hits. Look at that, it's on, perfect. We've finally got the body kit fitted. It took a little while, but we've got all the guards on, the front bumpers on, all the flares through to the back. The flares at the back are on. Rear spoiler is mounted as well, bolted through. Got 7 bolts on that. Next stage, what we're going to do is I'll probably strip all of the sound deadening out of the car. What else? Maybe sort out the door, at least work out whether or not it's salvageable, if I can fix it. Okay. Look at that. It's going to be a very long night. I've already got the spray tent top put up. The car's resting there. Got a dolly on the front there so I can move the car around. Now all I've got to do is take everything back to bare metal. It is in bare metal. I've just got to rub it back again. I've put a rust converter over the top to protect the metal. Now I've got to take all that off before I start to spray. Here's my spray setup. So we've got the compressor, Chicago compressor, going through 10 meters of hose into a water catcher right here. There's also another one on the actual compressor. Got another one here into the retractable hose, and on the end of the spray gun, before it goes through, and I've got 2 spray guns here, I've got another water catcher here and an adjustable regulator to adjust the air. So we've got our epoxy primer all ready to go. We've got our primer, which is a high fill primer, ready to go as well. And then we've got the top coat. So top coat, I've gone with crayon. This is the color. So it's a Porsche color, which is a single stage. So it's a gloss finish. There is no clear coat. This is just from stirring it the other day to get the color, see how it came out. Came out really well. Yeah, I think the next 4 days, give or take, lots of sanding, lots of painting. I'll put up plastic all around this and create positive or negative pressure. We'll work out what's best for painting. But we've got 2 air filters, extraction fans, one here, still in the box, and a smaller one here. So yeah, we'll see how we go. But so far, so good. I think we'll do all right with this. We just got to sand everything back to bare metal, wipe it down, mask everything off, including the floors and all the walls. Then we'll start to paint, get the epoxy down. On the outside only. I will do inside, but I'll do that once I've got the outside done. So what I've been doing, as I've been sanding it all back, as you can see, this is where it's all been freshly sanded. I'm putting circles, I'm marking where I can see little pits of rust. One there, one there. And what I'll do is, before I go and give the car a final rub down, I'll actually grind these out so there is no rust in there. And I'll wipe them down with thinner. Around the inside of these holes as well for the badge, I'm going to clean up, and up around where the old antenna was. So the idea is to keep it rust free as long as I can. Any little areas that I identify like this, I'll take them out pretty quickly before we do the epoxy coat. All right, so I'm probably 2 hours in right now. As you can see, most of the back's done. I'm not focusing too much inside behind the bumpers. It's kind of secondary areas. I'm not too worried about it. It will be fine. Now I've gone and sanded all of the main body around here, along the edge, up over the top. The roof has been done as well. I just need to do along the inside of the window area, down the windows, and then from here forwards. So tidy up. As you can see, all in here is done. All around the back is done, around the window frame. I do have to tidy up inside this gutter where I've welded new patch areas in here. I'm going to grind all this out, scuff it up so it will take the paint or take the epoxy. I've got to do around here, around this quarter window, and then as you can see, the roof is pretty much done except for the top area at the back here. So I'm just going down inside this door here. You can see here silver, and then on this side is all this matte finish because of the age of the metal and because I had rust protection on it. So I've got to go down here along inside, and then I'll work my way all the way to the front. So that's 2 hours in. Okay, so the epoxy layer is down. I do need to go around and tidy up a few things. All in all, it came out really well, as you can see. Look at it, it's there's very little rubbish in the paint except for around here somewhere, there's a little bit of rubbish. There was one run in the paint right here. You can just see it, but that was because when I first started painting, the pot was too full. It actually dripped on there. It wasn't a run, it was just a drip. Other than that, there's no runs anywhere. I'm actually really surprised on how well it came out. So as you can see here, super smooth. Everything's been done all under here. I'm going to give it another layer inside here. I just want to get underneath the ridge there. And I want to get the bottom of these, I want to get the chassis rails. I want to get in here and actually paint inside the chassis rails all the way along so they're completely covered, because that's where most of the water is going to come in here. So I want to make sure that they're all completely sealed, all underneath here, underneath, and underneath this bottom area. And then I'll go seam seal the whole thing. All around here will be seam sealed, just like in the factory. And then I'll give it another spray of epoxy, and then I'll do primer. So all the way along here. Inside here it will all be, that black paint to protect it from underneath, from the harsh elements. But all of this came up really well. I'm so impressed in how well it came down, or how well it sprayed down. In the roof, look at it, there's nothing in the roof. There's no grit, actually there's one bit of grit right there, which I'll have to get rid of, but that's fine. That's easily done. A little bit of body filler along here, just to fill this little dent in. And a little bit of hair in that. So just about going around the whole car. Oh, I didn't tidy that up, did I? That looks a bit shit. I forgot about that. So I can fix it up now with the sanding. I forgot when I sanded it, I didn't sand it completely, so you can see it wasn't sanded completely. I need to smooth it out because that will show. No, but very, very impressed on how well the first layer went down. Okay, so I've done another layer of epoxy. Now I've done it over the top of seam sealer. As you can tell, it's all been seam sealed. There's no gaps around the metal where the two bits of metal are touching. So a full layer of epoxy over the whole car again. So it's probably 3 coats. It's come up really, really well. All in the door jambs, all around the top of the door jambs, all up the top here. Probably need to put another layer of epoxy in this roof line just to protect it. As you can see, all done. All seam sealed where I've welded the guards that were cut, so no water will get in. There we go. Next to do is body filler to straighten out some of the creases in the panel, like here. And then I can do the primer layer. So once I can do the primer, I'll give the full car a big block sand. Look how smooth that is. Look how good that top. Look how good the roof is. Just came up really, really well. I'm so happy with the finish. Okay, so first application of Bondo has gone on, or bog, body filler, whatever you want to call it. So I've gone around the whole car, filled in any small dents which I could find. There's not many. I couldn't find one here, but I knew there was one there from when I sanded it, but I can't remember where about it is. It's only very slight. So that'll just need a nice rub back. Same on this one here. The worst spot on the whole car is right here. Okay, so someone's driven into something and put a crease all the way along here. So we'll just wait for that to dry so that I can sand it off. Okay, so we're done now with 2 epoxy layers. I've done all the seam sealer, I've done body filler to clean up all these edges here, where I've done some rust repairs. It is now had a final coat of primer applied to it. So it is in very good condition. Everything is done. Look, around here I've used seam sealer where I've done the welding, where I've pinched I've done a pinch weld all the way along here. These holes are for the flares, of course. And if you look, everything is looking nice and clean. All the lines are good. There's no rubbish in the paint. I probably shouldn't be rubbing my fingers all over it, but you know what? I'll give the car a wipe down. Just going around, tidying up right now, everything. Pulling off all these. If there's any little bits of rubbish in the paint, this is the time to take it out. Like there's one right here, see here? I need to now go get a bit of sandpaper and I'll denib that, I'll take it out. The whole car will get a full rub down, or wet rub down, with some very fine grit, but currently, but what I'm doing right now is just going around the car, feeling out any bits of rubbish that's caught in the paint like here. Just taking the tops off them. So you can see here, that top's been taken off. I'll give the whole car a sand after anyway. I'll put a guide coat down. But where that little bit is, it's been taken right down nice and flat, so it won't show up under the final coat. So I reckon this weekend I'll be able to get some colour down. As you can see, all done around the windows. Inside here, I do need to give it a little bit of a rub down inside, like here, to smooth it out. But I am so close. Like in a couple of hours spent rubbing the whole car down, and then I'll be able to spray this Sunday, get some colour on the car. Very, very happy with the progress so far. There's no major issues at all. In fact, there's no minor issues either. I'm just going to rub the whole car back. Like everything's been done all around the window. As you can see, inside the gutters, I just need to smooth out little bits like this. There's a little bit there where there's a bit of trash in the paint. So sand them down before I do before I start doing the edges in colour. But you can see down here where there was some body work done. It's nice and smooth. The flares will come to here, so back further to here, there's nothing wrong with it at all. It's a little dent under here. I do need to denib this whole back ledge here. It seems to catch all of the rubbish along here. So I'll give this a bit of a scrub before I do the final coat. See here? Little bits of rubbish in there like that. Got to get rid of it all. It's very easy to get rid of. That's it. There we go. Okay, so final masking of the car. I've gone around, the whole car's been rubbed down with 800, so it's nice and smooth all the way around. Fixed up any little bits that were a little bit unsightly. As you can see, everything's done in primer. So I've got one tiny run to get rid of, which is right down here. Then it's mask the floors off, so there's no dust. Wipe the car down. I'm going to give the whole car a full spray of colour. Okay, so I've bolted together the front end. All the bolts are in for the flares. I was skimmed, so everything's in epoxy at the front. Okay, so the whole front, the bonnet is in there in epoxy as well. This is the paint I'm finishing in. So this is the colour that we're finishing in, which is a crayon colour from Porsche brand. I've skimmed the areas that need to be sanded and smoothed. I've just put some body filler on there for the moment. I'll give it a sand down in a couple of days once it's fully cured. This one was probably the most in need of tidying up. So this guard was the most in need for skimming. Here's the bonnet in here. So the bonnet was great, apart from on this side of the bonnet there is a line which was dented in. So again, a little bit more tidying up. So I'll finish that. I'll bolt it onto the car. This guard looks terrible. Nose cone looks great, apart from a couple of little imperfections which I'm trying to fix up. Along this side, only a few small dents, one right here. I'll sandal this nice and smooth before I primer it. And then I'll get onto the doors, get them on the car, then give the whole car a flow coat. I'll give the entire car a nice spray paint in one go. We're getting there.